Hi, my name's Neil Keenan. I think you know who I am. And I'm here to bring forward situations that you're not well aware of as we, the people. You're not aware of the situation at all. Okay, I can bring it back in time to substantiate and show the Democratic Party what they've done to usurp the power from the people of the United States. It's been going on for a while. We haven't had a president since John Kennedy, other than Donald Trump, that was working for we the people. Kennedy didn't really have a long period of time to do what he had to do, but when he showed the deep state, as we call it, when he showed them that we're going to change the financial system with the Green Hilton Agreement, with President Sukarno, with the silver and so on, that they eliminated him. See, Lyndon Johnson was with President Kennedy in Indonesia and was always hanging around, but he was the leak to the cabal, to the people that killed President Kennedy. That's what happened. Uh, we've gone much further than that. Along the way, they keep progressing step by step by step with the presidents that they put in place. And we already know that the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are both owned by the Rothschild family, not by George Soros. He's their lackey. He's their pitchman. That's what he is. And he's going to get his when the time comes, I'm sure, and it's near that time. Getting to this. Now let's go back to this, what I was talking about, and not me going back into the history, although this is history. For example, September 28th, 2008. We're looking at documents to Queen Juliana, to Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Timothy Geithner, General Hahn, Queen Elizabeth, and it's advising them that the Dragon family will finance the entire matter in the US. We're talking about the airline industry. This is back in 2009, 2008, 2009. That's when we had problems with our airline industry, when they were going to be grounded. And the Dragon family, or the Golden Dragon family, came forward and said, "We'll help you. We'll give you a hand. You need the money." Well, you've got your. As a matter of fact, they told him, "You're holding our money, so you sit with us, you meet with us, and we sign the papers, and you get to and you get to use it." Why wouldn't you take that deal? Well, you wouldn't take that deal for one reason. You'd be helping the United States. You'd be helping the people, creating jobs. You wanted to take the jobs. That was what Soros did by taking the companies out of the United States and bringing them to other countries. It's what he threatened in England. He said, "If you don't do what I say, I'm going to remove all my corporations, and that's it. You're going to go broke." It's a game they play. And the bottom line to it all is that this is their only way to win, if they're going to win. I don't see them winning. They're bad people. And we know they're bad people now. I've known for a long time. We know they're bad people. We know what they're doing to the people on our planet. We know that people disappear every day of the year in our country, in other countries, and no one says anything about it. We know children are disappearing. We find children in oil containers. For God's sake, 7 or 8 of them dumped out of an oil container, and one of the advisors said, "Well, we don't know if they were being trafficked." Well, they had to bang the heck out of the thing to open up the door for them. It was welded shut, and then they went in and they got them and got 4 or 5, and they couldn't breathe, and they looked like they were ready to pass away. And these are children, little children, and all this has got to stop. Oh, by the way, the advisor to the net said that it hasn't been proved that they were being trafficked. No, if not, they're not being trafficked. They're being killed, one way or the other. Okay, they weren't going to make it much further when you saw the look on their face when they came out, other than their screams and cries and nasty. Let's get back. That's what we're dealing with. It's a trafficking game too. It's all kinds of games that they're putting together, all involving lots of money, but involving our families, our friends. And it's been going on right from the very beginning. Our families, our friends, they get nothing other than headaches and pain, while they laugh at what they do because they're making money. They're destroying us, or they tried to destroy us. We woke up. We woke up when I filed that lawsuit 12 years ago. Until then, nobody heard of the global accounts. Until then, nobody heard of the cabal or even the Khazars. They came out of nowhere after that. I mean, everybody was afraid to walk the wrong way. If they walk the wrong way, they might get slapped on the wrist or maybe shot in the head, one of the two. It's come a long way from that period of time to today. We've got a guy named Donald Trump out there who's fighting the battle that I quietly fought, not quietly, but in the internet fought for years. Donald's bringing it to the forefront, and he's doing a magnificent job. And you know something? There's not many people with the cojones to do what he's doing. He's doing it. And you think this is easy for him? I mean, I know how hard it is for me. It's hard for him. He's coming before the planet, and he's making his statements. I'm making my statements before a few people on the internet. But I am the Amanah, and I can help get this thing done, which is one of the reasons why I'm here. I'm planning on working with the governments, including Mr. Trump's government, President Trump. He's your president. He's my president. He's American. And we're going to work together. I have other presidents too in the country that I'll be working with that I've already spoken to. There's many that are waiting for me to return to Indonesia and do what I have to do. And when I do, we're talking about making this place a lot better. A lot better. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people fleeing to go to different places to hide. And they already have homes in many places. There's not much they haven't done or prepared for at this point in time. The way the election's going, it looks like Biden can't remember his name. I find amazing is that he went from blue eyes to dark eyes from one video to the next. Man, he's got some dark eyes now. Where did they come from? Jeepers creepers. Where did you get those peepers, Joe? I don't know, but I wonder if Joe is Joe. I see him looking into his wrist all the time, and I see his lips moving. I think it's ground control to Major Tom, Beam me up, Scotty. Beam me up. Hey, Joe, His name's not Scotty. That's why he didn't beam you up. Anyway, we've got to get this thing straight. I mean, the Dragon family, the Golden Dragon family, has offered on numerous occasions, and you've used it. The United States has used, they've used their funds without asking even, which is par for the course, because it's not a government, it's a corporation, and they're not paying attention because there's nothing the Golden Dragon family can do. They think. There's lots to do. There's lots. It's going to be a new world soon. There's going to be different things taking place. And the Indonesians will be happy with what happens. Asia will be happy with what happens. And the West will be at a loss. I don't mean the people. I mean the government or the powers that be that have been, who have literally done nothing for we the people. The Vatican, the cardinals are all gone. They're all gone. You might have doubles, and you really might have clones, and you don't hear me talking about that. But I do know there's a factory in the United States right now that makes clones. And believe it or not, usually I say baloney, bullshit, but there's a factory, and they're producing a lot of them. Imagine walking up the street someday and you see something that looks like you, and you look at it, and it is you, and he looks at you and goes, "Hi, Neil," and you go, "Hi, Neil." You say, "What the hell? You're going to run out of there pretty quick, aren't you?" That's what happens when you get drunk. You see two or three of yourself in the mirror. You cut yourself when you shave. I think that we're at the point, President Trump is, whereas he's going to win the election. He needs all your help. He needs all your help. He's doing wonderful things. Every time he gets out there, his neck is on the line. His family's on the line. His friends are probably on the line too. He needs your hand. He doesn't need you to look at him, listen to him, and not do anything. Say, "Wow, what a president." You need to go and vote. You all need to go and vote. You need to vote Donald Trump if you want to stay alive. Remember, the agenda for the New World Order would be Agenda 21 or Agenda 30, and both of them eliminate 90% of the population on the planet. They can't handle us because there's just too many of us. If they get rid of us, we return to a status similar to the fiefdom, when the king had the castle and the people outside had to give them the food in lieu of taxes. They would come out and they would, "Okay, you have to pay the king today," and they'd come out and they'd bring all kinds of goodies for the king, and they'd get it back in the castle. And that's what they're looking at. They want that. What they don't realize is, if you look at what they've done, we all work for them anyway. From accountants to lawyers. Look at our lawyers. They have to pass the bar before they can practice. Where's the bar? The bar's in the city of London. I mean, that tells you a story in itself. We don't have our own bar unless we're talking about going out to drink. We have plenty of bars, but not the legal bar. So I mean, they got their hands into everything we do. The courts, the schools, and it's falling apart on them. It's coming down. And Mr. President, Mr. Trump, you're doing a magnificent job. You really are. And I applaud you for what you've done. I have people in Indonesia I applaud who have taken on all odds too. I applaud them as well. Getting back to this, this year, the numbers are ridiculous. They talk about the president, how ex-Prime Minister Nakasone of Japan had ordered them to the Japanese Ministry of Finance to intentionally delay and sabotage any and all efforts at using these notes. Working with Obama, a lot of these notes were issued, many of them that issued at a time that doesn't make any sense to us, 1928, 1934. Here's a little note to the president. After the Japanese, Nakasone Kazumi, the emperor's younger brother Kokubo, Toshiro Muto, Kazumasa Iwata, Mr. Fukui, the ex-president of the Bank of Japan. They're all in the financial market, okay? If these men are detained, our funds will be released. It's said. There will be no one any longer to submit demands and orders to the trusting banks and bankers already in place. There'll be no one to threaten them if you are at the banker's request protecting them. But you need a president to protect them, to make sure that the cabal doesn't have the hang noose over there waiting for them. Shouldn't they listen? Should they not listen? They're continually being threatened by Mr. Nakasone, and these threats are to be taken seriously. Anyway, it says, how much trouble they've created for our world. You do understand how that Nakasone is responsible for all the problems created by Japan in this financial crisis. And that Kissinger, Greenspan, Rubin, Snow, Reed, and many others are responsible for the U.S. side. 20 years, the U.S. has been receiving money from Nakasone and his teams. This money belongs to the Dragon family, the Golden Dragon family, and no one was authorized to use them. Your ex-president knew it was illegal to take it, but did not shy away from taking them. He still holds our bonds, ones given him illegally, unless he has returned them to the U.S. government. I mean, this is what's been going on, and in many cases, our bankers can't act as bankers because they're being threatened. They're being threatened. It's not all bankers. It's some bankers at the higher level. At the higher level. You got to look at the governments as well, or corporations, whatever you wish to call them, and who's placed where, and you'll find out, again, where they're located, who they are. I'm sure President Trump has done all that and had done it a long time ago. He's not the kind of guy to let grass grow under his feet. And getting back to this, again, I keep wandering off because there's a couple of situations, the election and the notes here that I'm going to expose. But there's a couple. Only a couple that I keep going back and forth because my head is bouncing from one to the other. And you know, they're really on the same track because they involve the assets. They involve the assets. You're involving the same people that were there 12 years ago are there now, unless they passed away. It's a different world. And when you put the two together, you realize that should, and I know he will, President Trump remain in office, that he knows already, I'm aware of it, that the assets are there to be used. And as what's his name, Munchin, he makes claims that the mistakes that were made are the mistakes of our forefathers. So why should we have to pay them? You're not paying them. That's just it. You're not paying them. You haven't. You don't release them. You just keep claiming they're the sins of our forefathers, and that's it. And You are one of them, sir. And you have been for a long time. And I've got documents here in my building here. I have documents substantiating that you're one of them. I don't think you want to get me going, because if you do, it's going to be awful hard to stop. Go to sleep one night and you think everything's okay. Wake up in the morning and find out you've got a lawsuit, huge lawsuit with a lot of documents backing it. What are you going to do? You're going to do what they did 12 years ago. You're going to run for the hills. When Obama appointed the judge in my case, Hollowell, I think, he, an older man, made a statement to the media that he's so happy with his job that there's no way he'd ever leave it for retirement. He doesn't plan on doing that anytime soon. And along comes, the way it goes in reality, along comes Jones. And in this case, it's not Jones. Along comes Obama. He said, oh my God. He said, what do I have to do? You have to do this. You have to do that. What does that mean? You got to get him out of there. Next thing you know, Hollowell's retiring 2 weeks later. He's retiring. So here's a man, a judge, who's retiring 2 weeks after he says it's the best job in the world. I'm the first one to work in the morning and I'm the last one home at night. I sort of admired the guy. I mean, he loved his work. The statements showed that. And all of a sudden now, Obama's there and he retires. And you know what's going on, because this lawsuit was going to open up the Pandora's box. So what do you get? I got a guy named Fulmer. I think his name was Fulmer. And if you do any homework on the guy, he's Obama's economic advisors, one of his economic advisors' brother. He never had handled a case like this before, or any case, really, from what I understand. Yet he told my attorney in court that when we had made it clear that we were going to request more time, we were going to do this. We wanted to pull it without prejudice. We wanted to pull our case. We knew what was going on. He said, you can do that, but understand something, you can't file anywhere in the country. You can't file anywhere unless it comes to here. You know, and when I heard that he made that statement, I said, bullshit. I said, more bullshit. And I said, we'll file it in Switzerland. We'll file it in France, where we have jurisdiction as well. In the United States, our jurisdiction was iffy. I did that to waken the American people up. Well, that's all. And that's what we did. Look what happened. Look at today. I guess we did awaken the American people. Benjamin Fulford called it the end of financial tyranny. And it seems like it's leading in that direction, especially with Donald Trump leading the charge. I mean, the guy's been brilliant. What can I say? I mean, it's all up to you. Okay, I've got these. I'm going to release them. On this right now, either Richard's going to put them on the video or he's going to put them in a preface. But he's going to have them. You're going to have some of them. And you'll be seeing what's out there. I'm here to discuss the accounts and how they could have assisted us in the United States with our debt on numerous occasions, and our government, our presidents, our vice presidents have turned them down. And it's easy to talk about something, but it's harder to talk about something that you've been involved in. And I was involved in all that back in 2009, 2008. I mean, here's something that we had to do with Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, Timothy Geithner, General Hunt, Queen Elizabeth. And there's many, many others that joined the show, in which the Dragon family, the Golden Dragon family, they offered us, back then, they offered the United States, they offered them the payment to take to rid themselves of debt in the U.S. We had a problem at that time in relation in regards to the automotive industry in Detroit. Those people, they didn't need to be let go. They didn't need to be let go, the people that were working. They didn't need to lose their jobs. Okay, the Dragon family, the Golden Dragon family offered them through me. Okay, and Yamaguchi, especially Yamaguchi, who worked 20 hours a day like I did. They didn't need to lose their jobs. They didn't need to. The money was there, but the government wasn't there. If you want to call it a government, really it's a corporation. That corporation, at that point, which was President was Obama, was controlled by the cabal or the Khazars or the Nazi, whatever you wish to call them. They had to refuse any and all offers. Like the airline industry was having problems. The Dragon family, Yamaguchi, they went out of their way to offer to pay the bills for the airline industry as well. And our bridges were falling apart. They offered to pay for that too. And the money was already in the United States. The Treasury was holding it. The U.S. Treasury was holding the money. So it was right there. I mean, the Treasury printed so many notes for the Dragon family because they didn't want to pay the debt that they owed to them. They owed so much. Instead of paying the debt or giving them something, they give them more notes. And when they came to collect them, it was just too many notes. They couldn't cash them, or they didn't want to cash them again. Here's more notes. We keep giving you notes, but you keep owning a part of the United States every time we don't pay you, and we just issue more notes. And the people didn't know what was going on. The people didn't know that they were being turned over to a foreign entity or anything else. They didn't realize that the people running their so-called government were actually corporate executives, nothing more. If an executive is, I'm being too kind calling them executives. They're schmucks is what they are, and I'm an Irishman using that word, so you can figure that one out. They must be. You know, it went too far. It has gone too far, and now we're at the point where there's a war going on pretty much between the Democrats and the Republicans. Well, I got to tell you, I don't see a Republican's name on here. I see only Democrats on all these papers that I have. I have a lot of papers in a lot of different offices to different things throughout the world. I mean, they backloaded this whole damn thing on the next president every time he took office. Every time somebody took office, they took on the debts of the guy that was there before him. I mean, Donald Trump takes office and there's nobody helping him, and there's a Democratic Party out there trying to put him away rather than help him after they create the debt. Now, I got everything here. Obama, Biden, or his administration and him. It was addressed to him. See? Bill Clinton was no longer president. Clinton thought it was magnificent. He thought that Clinton acknowledged that the notes were in the Treasury, the assets were there, that they were holding them for the Dragon family. Clinton didn't talk much. He was short. And that was it, you know? He didn't want to get himself in a problem. Seeing it wasn't his administration. This was Obama's new administration. And they had been ordered, it was obvious, not with what we know now, they've been ordered to turn their heads on it. They've been ordered to turn their heads on the United States, on the American people. Didn't matter whether we were black, white, green, blue, red, yellow, whatever. the administrations that were formed, were put together by the, let's say, new president and his team. And you must remember, you always must remember one thing: who controls the situation? And you got a Republican and a Democratic Party who were both financed by the very same people, the Rothschilds. And George Soros didn't finance them. If the money that George Soros would pour into it would be Rothschild money. The Rothschilds would finance it. They control this ball game, not George Soros. George Soros is their lackey, well-paid lackey. That's what George Soros is, nothing more. What we have, I have numerous documents here in which I'm involved. And it's funny when you see all the names of all the players on one side, and you see mine there too. I mean, they're probably saying, "What's he doing in here?" That's the guy that caused this trouble. He's the shit stirrer. Well, I'm Irish. I can't make an excuse for that. That's what we do. We stir the pot. And I find all the crap that's in it and we get rid of it. Years ago, I was speaking to someone in Obama's administration about the notes, the assets, Dragon family assets, Golden Dragon. And we got back to the sins of the father again. And the forefathers did this and all that other stuff. And I asked a simple question. And I asked it again a week ago or 2 weeks ago. The answer I got years ago was, hell no, we don't want to cash those notes in the United States. We awaken the people to the fact that we've been printing these assets for a long time. We deny it. We deny it. We're not going to acknowledge it. We do all kinds of things. So we know with the fake names and the fake numbers and the fake this and the fake that and the spelling's wrong. They do that on purpose so that they have it, only they have it, and the rest of the planet can say, hey, look, they're not that stupid to spell this word wrong, and they're smart enough to fool you. Okay, now that was one. That guy said, we don't care if U.S. burns down. We want it to burn down. That's what we need to do. And that's what's been happening now today. And a couple of weeks ago, we had someone again state, we don't want to do anything with those notes or any notes. That only substantiates that we have printed them. Little does he know that I'm going to be closing the door on him. Okay, and he's not going to be doing anything with any notes. And we're going to be doing them, and people are going to come to us, and we're going to be eliminating that office with this man very soon. Get ready. Here we come. It's Halloween too. This is the gold note. This is what I guess people thought was fake. We had to go through some crap years ago. People saying this is not real. This was issued in 1928, and it's 100. I think what's 100? Each one is 100 metric tons of gold. Official power of attorney. There's again another one. The second one. We know now that it's original. We've known from the beginning. You didn't. The gold coin certificates were issued by the United States government to the Dragon family in 1929 as part of the gold assets which the Dragon family had submitted to the United States government. The numbers of the gold coin certificates and their beneficiary name at the top of the Dragon family have been registered at the U.S. Fed as confidential matters and treatments. 3, the gold coin certificates numbers. The numbers are here. As attached, here too have been granted me from the top of the Dragon family, General Han, who has legal right and power to dispose of them. 4, the top of the Dragon family has already issued his approval for inquiry from the Fed to him on whether the 3 gold coin certificates have been granted to me. That was to Yamaguchi. And the value of, I think it show you the value of each one. How much, Richard, was it?
800 trillion.
If you want to see something that's nice, I think the logo's nice. I think that's pretty interesting. It's pretty nice. It's a good job. It's a nice dragon. He's not blowing smoke. 10 million metric tons. Illegal holder of the gold coin certificate number 10 million metric tons AU. Each one's 10 million metric tons with a value of 800 trillion US dollars, including interest. And these notes were to be issued and being held by the Ministry of Tourism of the Treasury. I guess I want to go on vacation. I want to go to Indonesia and finish. I want to go. I want to finish. We're ready to finish. Our team's ready. Everything's ready. We have a private plane flying in to take us, I believe, and amongst other things, and we'll get this thing done, and we'll set this thing up right, and we'll take it from the hands of the World Bank and everybody else because they have no business touching it. They're a corporation. That's what they are. And so it says with a value of 800 trillion. Ooh. Do hereby appoint me, okay, to act in their behalf in coordinating the financing for the U.S. automotive industry, utilizing the gold coin, not just the automotive, but the airline as well, for bridges as well. I have all these. I mean, I'm waiting for a few other things to happen before I make the move, and I don't want to go, and I don't want to be quarantined for sure. I'm okay. As you can see, my energy level is peaking. I'm getting better. I've been better. Sometimes a while back it was getting a little bad, but now it's that those days are done. So now we just get our work done, and we can get this stuff done, and we can go move forward. I can't even find time to get a haircut maybe then. Anyway, we talking about each one's worth 800 trillion US dollars. That's including interest. That was in 2008, so you can imagine what it is now. And you thought they were fake. No. I had a bunch of fools leading the parade. That's what happened. I knew it, and my team knew it, but in 2008, I didn't really have a team. I had me. But I understood everything that was mostly, maybe not everything. Now, I understand a lot more. If we had made a deal if the United States and other nations had made deals with the Dragon family at that time, okay, understood. The Dragon family would be pretty much in control of the financial system of the planet. But the Dragon family is offering their funds for humanitarian projects. The cabal or the Khazars aren't offering their money for anything. They're looking to imprison you. They're looking to enslave you. They're looking to use you. And when they're done with you, they're going to discard you. That's basically it. They drop chemtrails. They drop this. They drop it arbitrarily whenever the hell they want. They're gonna kill us in whatever manner they want, unless we stop it. We have to stop it. And then to go further, we have another. This one that we talked about before. I think Queen Juliana, once upon a time. About the money for the Netherlands, Queen Beatrice. But Queen Beatrice didn't even know about this. She had no idea about this. She didn't have any clues. I woke her up. And I told her that she would be compensated for taking the place of her mother as a nominee. It was only the right thing to do because her mother had been the nominee for this deal for a long period of time. And it involved the people of the Netherlands. It involved the royal family in the Netherlands. Nobody got a dime because they tried to steal, go back door. They went to Japan. They tried to make the deal with the bank. She's not the nominee. She's not even anybody, really, unless the Dragon family says she is. Her mother didn't leave her in the will. This wasn't mentioned in the will. Here's the note, though. You can have the picture of the note, too. This is a little different. And by the way, I'd like to clarify another thing, Richard, while we're here. Yamaguchi, Chiasso. He was detained in Chiasso, right? Right?
Yep.
They found his assets not signed at the bottom of the suitcase. They found this, they found that. They didn't arrest him. They detained him. And they brought him before a judge. You were looking at the Como newspaper. Como newspaper is making it look like they were arrested. They're facing 5 years. They're going to do 3.5 or something or other. And they got everybody believing that crap. Yamaguchi left that very same day from that courtroom where he was detained and by the judge who he went before, because the Italian government owed the Dragon family so much money that Yamaguchi was going to bankrupt them if he hadn't been released. And that's the first thing. The second thing is that there never was a trial. Not in Como, not anywhere. Not in Milan, not in Rome. We've had our attorneys go and check all the records and pull the records and files, and they were threatened by the clerks even of the court. The clerks were threatening them. How's that? That's how bad it got. But he was never arrested. He was never sent. He couldn't be sentenced because he had never been tried. Okay, they said he tried abstentia, which is okay. You can do that. What? You have to charge him first with something. And they didn't charge him with anything at all. Nothing. Nothing. Here's another. This is 57 series Japanese bonds, Bank of CDs with the Bank of Queen Juliana with the Bank of Mitsubishi, the AU certificates, UBS, Sicano, 450 metric tons, 6,700 metric tons. That's a lot of gold, don't you think? Gold coins. We got each gold coin's worth 800 trillion. We got 3. That could have been used to benefit Canada, United States, South America, the West. You see, the East. I think I sometimes feel the East wants to rebuild the West, help them rebuild, and I want to help rebuild the East because they need to be built, and they've been holding those assets for such a long time, and they've never been able to use them, despite the fact that they belong to them. That's why there'll be a new system. They're right. They're not going to be a digital system because there's no money for it. Where's the money coming from? The global accounts? You're looking at who you have to come through to get those funds for a digital system. And I'm not issuing that. Not at all. Not to somebody named King Goguen or Kim Possible or Christy Adam, which is her real name. You're dealing with a con. And this guy from England knew he was dealing with the con when he brought her on. What's that guy's name? They can talk all day long about what they're going to do, but when it comes down to it, they need the money. And let me tell you something, honey. There's no money for you. There's none. Go back to your Mana Trust and try to con the people with that again. And the one before that, I forget what it was, OPPT or something. You were with them at that one time, maybe. Let me tell you, Richard, Yamaguchi worked his ass off to get things done. And they did everything to stop him. everything. Clinton was trying to do a few things to help. I don't think Clinton really in his heart wanted to destroy the United States. Bill Clinton didn't want to.
Just seemed ironic. I guess he was just forced into it.
Yeah, well, he didn't have any money when he left his office. I know that. And
I
all of a
think
sudden he got money real quick.
maybe he was just railroaded by Hillary because she's a nasty piece of
Well,
work.
that could be true because Hillary is not. Hillary is Hillary. Hillary Clinton. From what I understand, the daughter's in the same boat as they are. So, what's been out there? We could have repaired the United States. We could have repaired Canada. I like Canada. I have friends up in Canada whom I haven't seen in years, and I miss them tremendously. I want to see them. I want to go back to Canada. I want that country to be successful, and I can't imagine it being successful with Justin Trudeau. Okay, I can't, and I don't think I'd give any money to Justin Trudeau, but I would give it to a foundation that's under our umbrella, and have a friend like Vincent or someone handling it, and work it out of Nova Scotia. I see so many things that we have, and so many ways in which we can be enriched, and it all stems, it comes from, and beginning with, the victory over the cabal in the United States. Chase them out, freeze their accounts, freeze their homes, freeze their everything, freeze their cojones, do everything. I don't care what you freeze, just freeze it so that they're no longer there. They had their run with us. They've had their run in our country. They've had their run period on the planet. They're still in Europe, and they've been in Europe for a long time, but the Europeans are looking at it another way now too. Everybody's eyes are pretty wide open. So what we need is we need 4 more years of Donald Trump, and that's not even going to be enough. We need 8. We need to get the 4 years back that they stole from him by making him fight every morning, noon, and night against the cabal when he should have been helping the people. They stole 4 years. And I think he should be the first president to get that those 4 years back. I don't know if he'd want it after 4 more years. He might be so tired of this bullshit that's going on. But then again, I don't know if we're going to have that bullshit for 4 more years if Donald Trump is our president. He's going to be cleaning it up. I'm sure they know now who's who. They're going to get them. Guantanamo is only a short trip from Washington. Anyway, it all comes back to the vote. It all comes back to Donald Trump and how we need him to lead the parade, not Joe Biden, who can't remember his name or doesn't remember putting in the contact lenses with the blue eyes or the brown eyes or the black eyes, or maybe his eyes change all the time. Maybe he's just a devil. Sure seems like it sometimes, doesn't he? But anyway, don't fret and don't fear. Just go to the polls and vote for Donald Trump. There's no other vote. The only other person probably would be that Harris girl. Her family ran a slave plantation, and she's claiming she's black. But they ran a slave plantation. I mean, forget about it. When she got in the debate with Pence, she had her backside handed to her. They're nobody. The Democratic Party has been involved in corruption for so long. We need to get rid of them. I think you have to do that. We, the people, have to do that, not Donald Trump. Let's get rid of the Democratic Party, and let's not let any of their players participate in any elections in the future because they're corrupt. They're corrupt. They're stone cold corrupt. Donald Trump, you got my vote, buddy. There's no other vote that could be. Anyway, I'm sure you have my team's vote. You have my site's vote. And you have so many other people that I know vote because they know what's happening. You're going to be very successful. And you will do what you have to do. And your family too. God bless you all. I think I've said enough. And Richard will take care of all this stuff, and you'll have a little preface to go with it. And I think it'll add some more things to it. Okay? I talk to you later. Thank you for all, and good morning. Now I can go to work. That wasn't work. That was fun. Good morning.